My name is David Grant and I'm a member of the Professional Services team here at Aculab. Today I'll be showing you how easy it is to configure an appliance IP gateway. We're going to look at a simple configuration scenario as shown in this slide, where we connect a legacy PBX to a SIP trunk in order to take advantage of the cost savings this can provide. This is what an appliance looks like. It has a number of ports on the front. These are up to 4 E1 T1 trunk ports, dual redundant SIP ports, and an administration port. All the configuration of the appliance is performed through an easy-to-use web interface which can be accessed through the browser of your choice over HTTP or HTTPS connection. You access the web interface by browsing to the IP address of the administration port of the appliance. When you receive an appliance, it comes with a default static IP address, and this can be changed during configuration. Once configured, you can monitor the health of the appliance either via the web interface or via SNMP. We're going to now go through 6 easy steps to both configure and test our appliance setup. Those are logging into the web interface. I'll then show you where you can change the network configuration. We'll then use what's called a setup wizard to create an initial configuration for the appliance. We'll then go and tweak the call routing for that configuration, load the configuration onto the appliance, and then finally make a test call. It's that simple to configure an appliance. So now I'll just share my desktop so I can take you through those steps. So as I said before, what we do first is browse to the IP address of the administration port of the appliance in our web browser, and then this is the login screen that we see. And we then log in using the username and password for the appliance. These are set when the appliance is booted for the first time and can be changed through the web interface at any time. So here I'm just logging in. And then the first screen that we see is an overview screen, which basically tells you about the status of the appliance and tells you the number of calls going through it. And then you can see required actions. That will tell you if there's any problems with the currently running appliance. You'll notice down the left-hand side a number of menu options. These give you easy access to options for configuration, diagnostics, and monitoring of the appliance. Under System Configuration, you'll see Networking. In this section, we can change the IP address of both the administration and signaling interfaces. In this setup, you can see we have them both set to DHCP, but you can also set the IP addresses statically if you require. We're now going to look at creating the configuration on the appliance. To create our initial configuration, we need to run the setup wizard. This will provide us with a default configuration which we can then tweak for our specific needs. To do that, we click on the Setup Wizard link under the Global Configuration options in the menu on the left. So this is the Setup Wizard. So we're going to configure to set up an appliance with a SIP trunk. So we're going to enter proxy address manually, and this IP address is going to be the IP address of the proxy of our SIP trunk provider. So we enter that. We then need to select the protocol to use on the TDM trunk of the appliance. The Setup Wizard sets one protocol for all trunks, but you may edit the configuration later to set different protocols on each trunk if required. For this setup, we're going to select NI2. And then we need to click Apply, and this creates the configuration. So here you can see it's created my configuration. We're then going to go in and edit the configuration to make a couple of changes. So we just click Edit, and that opens the configuration. When you edit the configuration, you'll notice a number of tabs along the top of the screen. Those are things such as the General tab, and this allows you to set a name for your configuration and also a description. The Trunks tab which allows you to change the telephony protocol downloaded to each port, and the codecs tab, which allows you to change the codecs used for encoding audio for VoIP calls. As you can see, we've got G711 selected, both A-law and mu-law, and there's also G729 available. We're going to go to the routes tab. Here we can modify the route a call will make based on the inbound DDI and CLI of the call. We can also manipulate or change the CLI and DDI if required. We're going to configure the routes so all inbound calls from our SIP provider are routed out over TDM trunks, and vice versa. So we want to uncheck use the same rule for all groups. And for our TDM trunks, we're going TDM to SIP. We just give it a name, and we're selecting the proxy group because we want calls to go out over the proxy. And then for our proxy group, we need to add a new rule, and that's SIP to TDM. And that's it. So all we need to do is now save the configuration and apply it. Now to apply it, we just need to click Use, and then that will load the configuration onto the appliance once we've confirmed it. So once that configuration is loaded, it will be shown as running, and then we'll be able to make a test call, and that usually takes a second or so. So once that configuration is loaded, we'll make a test call, and I'll show you the diagnostic information you get about current calls going through the appliance. So there you can now see it shows running, and on the left-hand side, you'll see a calls menu. And here you can see it lists the trunks and the SIP trunk, and you can see that all of the current calls are shown as waiting for incoming, so there's no calls going through the appliance at the moment, and you'll see a key at the bottom of the screen there. So now, if I dial, I'm going to route a call to a SIP phone on my laptop. So you see I've got an incoming call there, and it's ringing, and once the screen refreshes, we can then see there we're waiting for accept on the TDM side, and the SIP call is ringing. So if I then answer that call, hello, this is a test call running through my appliance. And as the screen updates, you'll see the call has gone to connected, and there you can see it's connected. And you'll see also the numbers that have been dialed and the duration of the call. And then I can then disconnect the call, and it's cleared down. I'll also show you the call log, and in here we can see the path the call has made through the appliance. So a new incoming call came in here. It selected the TDM to SIP route, went out, and both calls were connected, and obviously we could speak to each other. So you can see in less than 5 minutes, you can configure an appliance IP gateway to connect your legacy PBX to a SIP trunk.